Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about mistakes. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, when people advise you that software engineers shouldn't be afraid to make mistakes, wouldn't these mistakes potentially cost one's job, especially if it causes a huge loss when done in production? Well, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. When people say that you shouldn't be afraid to make mistakes, what they actually mean is that you shouldn't be afraid to make small mistakes or mistakes that we, as the people who are saying that, are okay with you making. But if you make too many and the same ones, or severe enough, or if you're so negligent that it's considered by us to be unjustifiable, then we're going to fire you. That is what it means. I used to have this. I was working with this guy a while back. Uh, he was working as a QA at the time, and at the time I was basically building up a software team, and he was one of the first joiners. And so one of the core principles that I established very early on in that team, and in most teams that I create, is that it's very important that you ask for help when you need it, and in addition to that, it's very important that you keep all communications open. In other words, you put it in public channels, things like that, because the problem is when you sit and do private messaging between people when you ask for things, is that nobody can really help you, because you will be blocked, and because you keep the conversation private, we think that you are that you're able to make progress, but the reality is that you're not making any progress whatsoever. And the idea here is that if you make it a more public thing, then people can join in and actually support you and see that you see the proof of your words. But if you do nothing, all we have is your words against somebody else. And within that specific company, this was the culture that was going on, right? To try to keep things public. He didn't like that very much, and so he forgot many times to follow this rule. And so I kept reminding him, and I said, like, it's fine if you just make a mistake, it's okay, just remember to try to, like, if you don't get anywhere, you have to ask for help. And then finally he started getting complaints from other teams that he was breaking this rule, and so I talked to him about it, and I basically asked him why are you not doing this? And he basically stood up to me and said, I don't agree with this rule, I think it's bullshit, etc., etc. And I go, yeah, I understand that, but that is the company policy, so unfortunately I'm going to have to ask you to change your behavior. And then it turns out that he has not made any progress whatsoever due to very, very easy fixes, in terms of, like, had he asked for help, he would have been able to. He was unblocked the second he asked for help, but instead he had wasted almost 2 weeks on a story. He got fired pretty quickly. And we had this argument where he said that you should trust me enough to, and I should be allowed to, trust is a two-way street, and if you don't trust me enough to that I do a good job, then, like, well, what's that all about? And I go, yes, trust is a two-way street, but I should also be able to trust that you are going to do a good job and that you can work as part of a team. And the same thing goes for the mistakes and, like, all the fuck-ups that people make. If I can see that when someone says to you that it's okay to make a mistake, that means that it's okay for you to make a mistake that is a genuine mistake when you have tried your best. But if you make mistakes continuously, or big ones, because you are negligent, or you don't care, or you're incompetent, then you're gonna get fired. Because as just with this guy, it is down to my gut feeling. Is this person ever going to learn? Is this person going to be able to improve and not? Are we gonna have? It's a risk management thing basically, and this is why I always tell people that this idea that when your boss tries to be your friend or things like that. I even said that to my friend who is my boss, that as soon as you have that relationship, as soon as there is, as I say, a way for another human being to have influence over your livelihood, that goes out the window pretty much immediately, because now there is possible consequences from the person that you are dealing with and their opinion of you. So the tricky part here is really to find that balance for people where you want, because you can't have software developers who are afraid to do things, and that's where you try to make it more relaxed and make people understand that we have to be able to ship things. We have to be able to make progress, because if we're scared to do anything, if you can't work autonomously, then nothing is going to happen. But then as a software developer, you have to understand that, which is the thing that I was trying to make this other guy understand. If I try to be as friendly as possible to you and help you, but you continuously fail at following even the most basic directions, then I'm going to get upset with you and I'm going to have to discipline you somehow. And then if you claim that I'm not trusting you or things like that, that doesn't mean fucking shit to me or the company, as in this case the tech lead, because you have to understand as the individual that there is a balancing act. Yes, we try to make things a friendly environment, but that doesn't mean that we don't have any expectations on you to perform. But on the other hand, if you go to the other extreme, like a fucking child, and think that, okay, there's now a risk and there are stakes, therefore I have to make everything perfect and I can never ship anything. The same guy would not ship things, and he actually had like long, very boring conversation with me about how I feel I can't push anything to pull requests because people are going to comment on my code. And I go, yes, that is the fucking job. It's the fucking job, anywho. And now I have to, I talked him down from that. But basically, if he can't even make an effort to do something because he's so scared of making a mistake, then I have to fire him anyway because now he can't produce. So this is why this weird idealistic mindset is so stupid, and it only happens in people that I truly believe are... I don't know what's wrong with them. It's like they have no understanding of nuance, that there are grades of things, that there are ranges, or like the scales of whatever you do. So what I want you to take away from this is that the reason why absolutely, you can get fired for making a mistake. If you can drop the entire database or something like that in production, or you can, as I said, fuck up so much and be so difficult to deal with that you're gonna get fired. And there's nothing you can do to stop that, because as I said, the problem is that the software developer's role is that you have to take action, you have to build things, you have to make things, and so forth and so forth. That's the case with anybody. You have to exist and move things within the organization, and you always run the risk of getting fired for making a mistake. And that's not just software developers, guys, that's anybody. Your boss could come at any second, make up a story, and trust me guys, I have been here. I have been in situations where my manager has said something and supported decisions I have made at one stage of the process, and a few weeks later changed his mind, and now I'm basically on the shopping block because it served the purposes of that individual, and there is fuck all you can do about it. So the tip that I will give you is to think about, when people say we have a blameless culture, etc., as this is a more tolerant environment where you should not have to walk on eggshells. That is what we're going for here. But if you never improve and you fuck up all the time and you're incompetent or something like that, then no, you're not going to keep your job. No, there is no way for you to just continuously do that, because there has to be a balance between how many fuck ups you have versus how much value you produce. So if you on a regular day produce as normal and you make things work, etc., then it's okay to make a mistake every once in a while. But then again, would you forgive, I don't know, a police officer who's been doing a really good job for many years and then goes postals and starts shooting a bunch of kids? Nuances, ranges, how severe are things, and balancing of the equation is a good thing to keep with you. Have a great day.